Hi guys, I want to talk to you about temperatures, not just for the lights, but for your room and where to measure them, why to measure them, how to measure them. I'll talk to people and they'll say, I've been growing for 26 years, this is how you do it, my room's set to 72 degrees, I have this, I have that, my humidity's at this percentage. And I'll ask a dumb question, where do you measure at? And I'll get that Bambi stare. They were told to do things that way, and it works for them, so they didn't question it. With bulb technology, you do need to run your rooms in lower temperatures, and I'll explain that in a second. But I understand it. I did it myself, many years ago. But measuring where your temperatures should be measured at is a key. I've met a lot of guys. Like I was at a place in another state, and the guy was a very good talker. And he had a degree in agronomy and a lot of stuff, and he got himself into a nice gig, and this is a large operation. And I get in there and I look at his plant canopy and I'm like, ooh, it's too damn hot. And seeing deficiencies, and I didn't want to be rude to the guy, but I simply asked him, I said, what's the temperature of the canopy? And he just gave me this blank stare. He said, my temperature is 78 degrees. And I said, where? And he said, in the room. I said, where are you measuring the temperature at? And then I look over, and he's got his probe next to his thermostat on the wall. Well, the lights were here, the plants were here, the thermostat was over there. So over there on the wall, out in the shade, away from the main lights, it was 78 degrees. But in the plant canopy under bulbs, not under LED, under bulbs, it was like 87. And its humidity was like 45. So, if you've been around plants, that's just not a good thing. Anyway, seeing things like that brought me back to making sure I tell people, because with LED there are caveats and there's benefits to running your temperatures warmer. But where you measure your temperatures is key. You should be measuring your temperatures at the light itself, so you can verify your airflow, but also at the plant canopy. So if you have your thermostat probe, don't hang it down. Get it so it's actually in the plant canopy, so you know what the temps are, where the plants are, what they're feeling. With LED, you can have your room canopy temperature at 83 to 85 degrees, no problem. Our lights don't give off a lot of IR like other fixtures do. And infrared, which none of us can see, is what heats the plant's tissue up that makes us have to cool the room off more to mitigate that damage. The proof is simple. If you've ever grown a strain you really like outside, that outdoors, here in California, I have friends who are growing whitefire in a non-disclosed place in the desert. There was 107 degrees, and I was checking it out, and this plants they're just like this. They were not stressed out. They were okay. And then I did a test indoors. We were trying to kill some broad mice in a test lab for a guy, and we had it up to 115.4 degrees Fahrenheit with our LEDs, and the plants didn't even wilt, didn't die. Broad mice did. Plants didn't. If you've ever gotten your temps even around 90 degrees under bulbs, that's pretty much, it's over. If it's like that for a couple hours, it's over. It's brutal. It's painful. It's happened to me when the fan quit.
AC fails?
Your AC failed. Oh man, worst thing ever. Before we had alerts and we could find out what's going on, you come back to your room and you just get this vibe up your back, and then you walk in there and you go, oh, it's over, man. Start again. No worse pain than that. Now we have technology to measure things all over the place. Smart Bee Controllers has a cool system. You can check, and I know it was one of our guys, he'll remain nameless. He's kind of OCD, and he is look at that. There's dudes look at dating profiles and Snapchat and everything else all day. This dude is checking his garden incessantly, but all the data's right there: temps, humidity, spikes, drops, all of it with the sensors in the soil. He knows his soil temps, he knows his canopy temps, he knows his room temps, he knows everything. So yeah, it's OCD, but at the same time, he's at peace of mind because he knows everything's cool. Because at the end of the day, if you're a gardener, you just want to make sure your plants are happy and you're not stressing out, not knowing. Get your temps in check. Always check your temperature at the plant canopy, because that's what counts. If you're growing with bulbs, you should be somewhere in the 70s. There's lots of opinions there. I know some old school dudes who keep it down 72, 73. I know some guys that run double-ended fixtures, and they'll have it at 77, 78. It just comes down to how much vertical space you have and what kind of airflow. And the same thing with temperatures, your lights on and your lights off temperatures. There are a lot of opinions on how that should go, and whether it's strain dominant or not. For example, with some indicas, you can get some pretty cool colors if you get your temperatures a few degrees cooler between day and night at the last few weeks of the cycle. Sativas, a basic rule is to keep it within 10 degrees Fahrenheit day and night for the most consistent growth and things. There are other ways to do it. Is that an absolute standard? No. Is it a good rule of thumb? Oh yeah. Get your temperatures in check, measure your humidity, make sure when you're measuring the temperatures by your lights, for example, let's say you have a high ceiling, but you have, you're using a double-ended fixture or even one of our lights, and you think everything's cool because you have airflow down here by your plants and you have oscillating fans, but there's no air going, or if you have an inline fan or a circulating fan that's not getting air blowing through your lights, they may be hot as hell. So if you have one of those little cheapy laser thermometers you can pick up all over the place, Harbor Freight, Home Depot has them sometimes, any hydro store should have them, and you can zap your light and see what the temperature is at the light. You'll know if there's enough airflow up there or not. You get your lights at the right temperature, regardless of what kind of light it is. You don't want anything electric to get too hot because then it becomes inefficient. And if you're using bulbs, they'll die a lot faster if they get too hot. Make sure you check your temperatures at your light fixture, at your plant canopy, and your entrances and exits, because you have airflow or drafts and things, and you need to seal that up because that's how bugs get in. That's how pathogens get in. Super important, real easy to do. Rule of thumb. Measure your temps at your light, measure your temps at your plant canopy, and your humidity at your plant canopy, and you will be a happy gardener because you'll have it in the sweet spot. That's the kind of stuff you have to do every single day. Makes a huge difference in the turnout of your crops. You will see it yourself with your own eyes. Try it.